Good day, everyone! I am Kimberly Barcinas,
And I am Ahon,
and we are going to discuss about the Philippine laws for PWDs or person with disabilities.
So, what comes in our minds when we talk about the laws of PWDs or person with disabilities?
When we talk about the laws for PWDs, it talks about the rights, advantages, or privileges that person with disabilities can have. So, for today's video, we will tackle the 10 different laws for person with disabilities. So, we will tackle first the Batas Pangbansa Bilang 344 or the Accessibility Law of the Philippines. So, this is an act to enhance the mobility of disabled person by requiring certain buildings, institution, or establishment and public utilities to install facilities and other devices. It provides for a barrier-free environment that will enhance the mobility of a person with disabilities so that they can participate fully in the social life and in the development of society. So in this law, it mandates every institution or establishment to give a person with disabilities a way which they will not have difficulties in roaming around the place they want to go. This will serve as a way that PWDs or person with disabilities will also feel that they are normal people like us with equal access to enter and roaming around. So the picture you see in the background is an example of this law. We can see that they built a way just for PWDs with a signage so that normal people will not pass the way for PWDs. I know that we are all familiar with this special way, as we can also see it when we enter malls or establishment in the Tagbilaran city or in our town. This law also mandates to renovate their establishment, but they would do it even without a license or permit for the construction, so that PWDs will enjoy their life to the fullest. So let's proceed to the next law, which is the Republic Act number 7277, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Disabled Person. So this is an act providing for the rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance of disabled person and their integration into the mainstream of society and for other purposes. It was enacted for the primary reason that persons with disabilities have the same right as other people. So in this law, it mandates that we must give the disabled person an equal opportunities like in the work. A company must give a disabled person a chance to prove that they can do what normal people can do. And when it comes to education, inclusive education should be implemented because we must give PWDs or person with disabilities a chance to study what normal people is studying. We must feel them that they are complete. The ideals and goals contained in Republic Act number 7277, such as providing a full range accessible service for a person with disabilities, cannot be completed or achieved unless an office is established in every local government unit to oversee the deal with the needs of the person with disabilities. So the goals of Republic Act number 7277 cannot be achieved if there is no office who oversees the needs of the PWD, but as we all know in our country, there is an office who handle the needs of the PWDs, which is the DSWD, or the Department of Social Welfare and Development. And as I observed in our town, they manage well and handle the needs of the PWDs, and they also give a cash assistance and educational assistance for PWDs or person with disabilities. So we will jump to the next law, which is the Republic Act number 9442, series of 2007. Republic Act number 9442, as amended by Republic Act 7277, provides the guidelines for the issuance of Person with Disabilities Identification Card or PWD IDC. Persons with disabilities are entitled to have a 20% discounts and are exempted from paying value-added tax or VAT on certain products and services nationwide. Example of these are Jollibee, McDo, or Manginasal. They give 20% discount to those persons with disabilities as long as they can present an identification card, or there are also some stores who give 20% discount. It also includes a 5% discount on necessities and prime commodities, mandatory coverage of health and security insurance, and educational assistance. Just like 20% discount, disabled person can also avail the 5% discount for necessities and prime commodities if they can present an ID. So let's move on to NCDA Administrative Order number 001 series of 2008. An act providing for a lifetime validity of person with disability identification cards for those with permanent disability or elderly. Amending for the purpose Republic Act number 7277, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Person with Disabilities, as amended. Under National Council on Disability Affairs or NCDA Administrative Order number 001 series of 2008, a person with disabilities identification card or PWD IDC, which serve as the standard national identification card for PWD, shall be the basis for the entitlement of the privileges provided for under the Magna Carta for person with disabilities as amended. Such privileges include discounts and VAT exemption for transportation fare, medicine, and medical services. In this law, it mandates that disabled persons should have an identification card because it serves as the standard national identification card so that PWDs of persons with disabilities will avail discounts from transportation fee, medicine, and medical services. Without it, you cannot avail the different discounts. So let's proceed to the next law, which is the Republic Act number 10070 series of 2010. Establishing institutional mechanism to ensure the implementation of programs and services for persons with disabilities in every province, city, and municipality, amending Republic Act number 7277, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons as amended and for other purposes. PDAO law or Person with Disabilities Affairs Office promote the creation of organization of PWDs in their respective territorial jurisdictions. It mandates the creation of Person with Disability Affairs Office in every province, city, municipality, and local chief executive appointing a PWD Affairs Officer to manage and oversee the operation of the office. In this law, it mandates to have an office for a person with disabilities so that they can monitor well and action fast the needs of disabled person, but in our town, PWDs is being assisted by DSW personnel since they are the in charge for disabled person, and as what I see, they work well and they also meet the needs of the PWDs or person with disabilities. It also mandates the implementation of Batas Pangbansa Bilang 344 or the accessibility law and other relevant laws at the local level. PWDs will be represented in meeting of local development council and other special bodies, dissemination of information on programs and activities for PWDs, trainings and employment opportunities. So the in charge of the person with disabilities in our town should conduct a regular meeting so that PWDs of person with disabilities is updated in upcoming events that will benefit to them. So, the remaining laws will be discussed by Ms. Mavikar Ahon.
Thank you, Ms. Barcinas. So let's go on to the next law, which is the Republic Act number 10366 series of 2013. An act authorizing the Commission on Elections to establish precincts assigned to accessible polling places exclusively for persons with disabilities and senior citizens. The law will address the concern of PWDs and senior citizens come election day. It mandated COMELEC to help PWDs during elections by, among other things, setting up separately and accessible voting precincts for them. This law will not require the registration or recording of persons with disabilities and senior citizens with COMELEC, so that they will identify those disabilities needing assistance when it comes to voting. So to identify the persons with disabilities in the election day, they must register so that the staff will assist you and that you will not need to fall in line just to vote. COMELEC is required to have all the staff undergo training programs. This is must since assisting of PWDs is a difficult task to do because you need to know how you can handle their needs, especially if you are first timer, you can handle disabled person. So let's proceed to the next law, which is the proclamation. Number 688, series of 2013. Declaring the period of 2013 to 2022 as the Philippine Decade of Make the Right Real for persons with disabilities in support of the Third Asian and Pacific Decade of Persons with Disabilities, a response of the Philippine government to the new Asian and Pacific Decade of a Person with Disabilities 2013 to 2022, which was adopted by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, or UNESCAP, adopts the ancient strategy to make the right real for persons with disabilities in Asia and Pacific, which comprises 10 goals, 27 targets, and 62 indicators. Directs the NCDA to lead the disability-related efforts and formulating a national plan of action for the decade, which translate the objective disability-related laws and policies into concrete programs. Requires all department, agency, and instrumentalities of the national government and local government units to implement plans, programs, and activities geared toward the development of a person with disability in accordance with the ancient strategy. Through this proclamation, it will gear the development of persons with disabilities. It will help to develop their skills so that they will not be behind as the time goes by. Disability inclusion is increasingly recognized as key to ensuring that no one is left behind in the sustainable development process. Towards the aim of achieving disability inclusion, societies, international and regional mandates promote both disability-specific and disability mainstream government action. Let's move on to the next law, which is the Republic Act number 10524, series of 2013. Act expanding the position reserved for persons with disabilities, or PWD. The law aims to increase their access to employment opportunities by encouraging government and private agencies and corporations to hire more PWDs. The law provides that at least 1% of all positions in government agencies, office, or corporation shall be reserved for PWDs. On the other hand, private corporations with more than 100 employees are also enjoined to reserve at least 1% all positions for PWDs. In this law, it talks about the employment opportunities of a person with disabilities. Government or private sectors should give the PWDs a chance to work in any position. They should be fair and not always look on their capabilities. At least they look on how they will help to improve their skills. They should also treat them as a normal employee. At least they will give 1% to PWDs to be hired. We should not degrade them because I believe that they have also their own talents and skills. The next law is the Republic Act number 10754, series of 2016. An act expanding the benefits and privilege of the person with disability. This law aims to grant person with disability at least a 20% discount and exemption from the value-added tax on the sale of certain goods and services identified under Republic Act number 9442 for the exclusive use, enjoyment, or availment of the person with disability. Example of these are restaurants, recreation center, such as theaters, cinema houses, and concert halls, lodging establishment, such as inns, mortuaries, hotels, and dormitories. It also applies the purchase of medicine and food for the special medical purposes, medical and dental services, including laboratory fees and professional fees of attending doctors, domestic air, sea, and land transportation, travel, and funeral and burial services. The establishment should put signage so that the person with disabilities will know and can avail the discount. The last law is the Republic Act number 11228, series of 2019. An act providing for the mandatory PhilHealth coverage for all persons with disabilities, amending Republic Act number 7277, as amended, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for persons with disability. The new law specifies that all persons with disabilities are automatically covered by PhilHealth and instructed by the State Health Insurance Agency to develop package tailor-fit and for their health and development needs. This new law is very helpful to disabled persons as this will make their hospital bill lessen. And it will be less hassle to PWDs because normal people is doing hard time in processing their PhilHealth membership. The law further directs the DOH in the coordination with other relevant organizations to periodically monitor and evaluate the implementation of the law to maintain an updated database of all the persons with disability in the country. This law gives an advantage to segment of the marginalized the population, resonates with our intention that no one shall be left behind, and underscores the need for higher taxes on tobacco and alcohol to fund health care. Yes, higher taxes, higher list of people who can avail PhilHealth because the money from PhilHealth is coming from the taxes of the different companies and different people like influencer or vloggers, artists, singers, and etc. And that's the end of our report. Thank you for watching and hope you learned something on what we've discussed. God bless.